Welcome, wrestling fans, to Joe's Hardcore Wrestling Talk Show, the #1 wrestling talk show in New England, and we are here with the All-American, Mike Hollow. And Mike Hollow, you've been in the World Wrestling Federation, the independent scene. You know what wrestling's all about.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got in the wrestling business and who you've worked with in the World Wrestling Federation and how it felt?
I've been in the wrestling business now for the last 6 years. Basically got started in the wrestling business through a friend, Fred Spada. He was a referee for the WWF at the time. And what happened was they were looking for help on the ring crew. So when I got to school, college, I ended up traveling around the country working for the WWF on the ring crew. Did that for about a year and a half. And from there, came to Walters and started to learn how to train. And I've been with him for the last 5, going on 6. And it's been a hell of a ride. It's been a lot of fun. Basically, done a lot of independent work, and also have had the opportunity to work with a lot of old-time stars and a lot of current stars, from Double J to Tito, Rick Martel, Gangrel, Al Snow, Bradshaw. So there's been many guys I've had the opportunity to work with.
And you said you've been in the wrestling business for about 6 years now.
Yeah.
Thus far, have you had any injuries?
I've tore up my knee. Also, banged up my back a little bit. But with the right training and proper diet, everything seemed to fall into place. Been A-OK for the last couple of years.
Yeah. And for the wrestlers that are just trying to get in the business now, what do you have to say to them? What does it take, in your opinion, to be a professional wrestler?
The #1 thing, if you want to be successful in this business or to even be involved in the business, the #1 thing that you have to have is a great attitude. Because having a great attitude will open a lot of doors for you. No one wants to deal with guys that have bad egos, big egos. Having a great attitude and the willingness to learn and be a great listener, take your bumps, you'll be okay and you'll do well in this business.
And I'm sure you've been in this, since you've been in this business for 6 years, you've been through a lot of matches.
Yeah.
What's your favorite type of wrestling match, if you have one?
Well, I've had the opportunity to do many, from scientific to hardcore. I like a good scientific match, back and forth. 2 guys really working hard and really having the audience in the palm of their hands and really giving them, everything that you can. So when it's time to go home, they're happy. When they leave that arena that night, you know that they're not going to forget about you, no matter who won or who lost.
And are there certain wrestling moves that you favor out there? Do you have a finishing maneuver that you could talk to us about the fans?
Basically, no. I don't have a finisher, as strange as that might sound. I think whatever comes up at any given time or in a match, it could be anything from a sleeper to a sidewalk slam to a gut wrench, DDT. It's all how the match is going, basically.
And I'm sure you've also done a lot of traveling within the 6 years. Which towns have you been to, states?
Well, like I said, when I got out of college, when I worked for the World Wrestling Federation, I had the great opportunity to travel the entire country, from the East Coast to the West Coast and everywhere in between. And I was very fortunate in that respect. In terms of working with the independents, I've been as far as Canada and as far as Connecticut. Basically up and down the East Coast and doing the different small towns, high schools, armories, colleges. So I've been to a lot of places.
And many years down the line, before you leave the wrestling business, do you have a certain goal that you'd like to obtain before leaving the wrestling business?
In terms of goals, it's everyone's aspiration and their goal to either work for the WWF or WCW or ECW, depending where their chips fall. But what I'm doing here at Walters as his instructor, teaching new guys that come into the door, is a great experience to me, dealing with individuals. It's a great way to see guys when they first start out and see where they are 6 months down the road and seeing how they progressively learned and that you had an impact and seeing them progress. That's a great goal for me, in seeing guys nourish in the business.
In your opinion, what has your biggest achievement been thus far, being in the wrestling business for 6 years, a moment that sticks out the most in your mind?
From when I was a little kid, when I was 5 years old, saying that I wanted to wrestle, and the first opportunity that I had to work in the World Wrestling Federation ring in front of 20,000 fans, who'd ever think that day would come true when you're a little kid, from when you're 5 to when you're 25. That's a great experience, because dreams do come true. It's what you put into it. You know, hard work will always pay off no matter what it is.
And who would you say your toughest opponent has been? Somebody that gave you the best fight out there, whether it was the independents, whether it was the WWF?
Without a doubt, the toughest SOB in the business right now has to be Bradshaw. I worked with him in Lowell at the Paul Songus Arena, and he is one strong dude. Hands down, Bradshaw is one tough SOB.
Well, Mike Hollow, the All-American, we thank you for joining us here on Joe's Hardcore Wrestling Talk Show. If you wrestling fans that want to see the biggest stars of the independents, the World Wrestling Federation, and any others, right here, the All-American Mike Hollow, tune in to Joe's Hardcore Wrestling on the Rhode Island Statewide Interconnect Channel A, Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. And for you wrestling fans in the Massachusetts area, check your local listings. And, of course, you East Providence wrestling fans, tune in 6 o'clock p.m. on Thursdays, 9 o'clock p.m. on Fridays, and we will see you at the matches. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good.